I think that, like, the things that gay people have to deal with just because they're gay, like getting shoved in the halls or getting, like, spit on, or the stuff that they have to deal with on a day-to-day basis is absolutely ridiculous.
I think it's just probably a lack of awareness, and many people just don't know anyone that's gay, so it's not something familiar with them. So if you don't know anyone that's gay, it's kind of a scary thing. And if they only knew that the percentage of population that are gay, they would be surprised that, there's somebody that they know that is. They just don't know it.
I was at a queer youth advocacy rally in Sacramento, and I was talking to some friends, and I know someone who lives in the Central Valley, and he walked in the first day of class his senior year, and and this was a couple months ago. This wasn't 2000. This was literally a few months ago, and the teacher said, oh, hey, look, everyone, that's Justin. That's the fag, and if I see any of you hanging out with him, I'm gonna give you bad grades. If you're his friend, you're going to hell because the kid's out and he's gay. That kind of verbal abuse is so common.
I do feel that the gay teenage population is underserved because teenagers as a whole don't have a very loud voice. And so you take a niche of that demographic and you end up having an even smaller voice.
Most people are, I think, just too afraid to be out. And that's unfortunate because, this is their youth. They should be having the time of their lives. But lots of gay people, they don't get that chance. They have their adolescence when they're in their 40s, because they finally come out, and that's not fair.
I go to Hillcrest often, and I meet a lot of young kids, and I've heard some kids who got kicked out of their houses and because they were gay and their family just didn't approve of it, so they were kicked out. Other kids, they've lost communications with their mom or dad because they just didn't like the idea.
I've had a heterosexual friend who, because she did the Day of Silence, her so-called friends, they weren't friends afterwards, but they spit on her and they pushed her. And it's like, are we really living in the 21st century? People shouldn't be acting this way. So I think there is a big problem.
A lot of people who think that homosexuality is a sin and that these people are going to go to hell, and I don't like that idea because I never really did anything wrong. I worked hard to be a good person. I try to love everyone that I can, and yet I'm automatically condemned to hell. I find that kind of hard to believe.
I have not personally felt discrimination concerning my own homosexuality in public. But as far as my own social circles are concerned, or my family, I feel like there's not so much discrimination, but a hesitation.
Every day there's times when I feel like, somebody's made comment. We had a meeting the other day, Monday morning, professional time meeting, and, there were heterosexist comments made all over the meeting. And
in freshman year, whenever the teacher read the announcements and they read the list of clubs, she got to the Gay Straight Alliance, she started, there were always a group of kids always in the back who were like, dude, the fag club, and I wonder who's gonna go join them, and I was scared. Because I was sitting right next to these kids, and I wanted to ask my teacher, oh, wait, what room was that again? But here were these kids going, making jokes, to all the fags get out. Yeah, they're all going to get AIDS. It's just freaked me out.
When I got into college, I thought that I was kind of getting picked on a little bit, I guess, behind my back. People were like, oh, she's gay, and that was so, first of all, out of left field for me. I was like, what are you talking about? This is me. I'm not gay. I'm me. So what if I like to wear, boy shorts? And then I was like, why do I like to wear boy shorts?
I had a friend who was on the football team, and he heard some off-the-cuff remarks from some of the other players. There's a gay guy on this team that I found out I'm going to beat the crap out of him, and of course they weren't kidding.
I played football for the school, and I had to deal with a lot of discrimination. It might have not been firsthand, but a lot of people were, and to some degree, discriminating against like gay people. I remember often hearing, "Oh, that's so gay," or anything like that in the football, and that always made me feel horrible. I also overheard a kid telling another kid that if you're gonna be gay and play football, you shouldn't tell anyone because you're asking to be beat up. So that was one of the reasons why I quit football after my sophomore year, because I couldn't deal with like the idea of people hating me even though they didn't really know me.
I think it's really hard for people that have been told that since they're really young that it's wrong to be gay, it's wrong to love same sex, to actually come to a realization that they are in fact gay. So that's why I do this. That's why I'm in this club supporting the cause and helping people realize that it's okay to be yourself, and the only way to be happy is to accept yourself. Like, if you can't love yourself and accept yourself, then who are you gonna love? Who are you gonna accept?
My faith is very strong and doesn't contradict my feelings, which is nice. Not everybody can say that they feel closeness with God and Jesus and have a relationship like that, and also they don't have to deny part of themselves. That's very important. So any prejudice that I encounter, looks on the street or like, don't bother me as much as it would if I didn't have her.
When I was born into a very, very religious family, and I was raised that way till I was probably 12, and I started to think for myself. Everything I believed in was, God this, God that. I followed it quite a lot to the book. But when I started to realize that I was gay and that the church didn't approve of anything of that sort, I started to break away from religion and decided that I didn't want to be associated with an organization that would discriminate against me, even though they really didn't know who I was. It was just something I had about me.
My own final thought on it was like, why would God fill my heart with such feelings of love and then ask me to deny them? Doesn't really make any sense.
As far as religion and homosexuality, everybody's opinion, they have their own opinion, and it's okay. And there are certain religions that think it's wrong and that gay students and gay people are going to go to hell, and that's up to them. It's up to them, and there's nothing, I can't change their mind. But when it interferes with political types of things like the marriage bill, which just is a discrimination bill, because I can't marry someone and get the benefits that a heterosexual couple can have. And so those benefits include money, they include being able to see your partner in the hospital when they are in a coma, for example. There's all sorts of benefits that are included in a marriage that someone who is gay does not have. And so those kind of things I think are separate to me in my mind than the religion kind of things. Someone can disagree with what I do, but to keep me from getting the benefits of a U.S. citizen as someone else is wrong.
I don't think it's right to take away the rights of being yourself, like how they are not allowing homosexual marriage, for example. I don't think that's right, because they should respect each and everyone as a person, as human beings, not according to who they love and who they want to share their lives with.
The biggest example regarding the marriage issue, I have a friend who his partner was hospitalized for heart problems, and there was a chance his partner was going to die. And he couldn't get in and see him. Even though they had been together for 5-6 years, I mean, they had a family together, and they would not let him in. They said, "You're not married, you can't see him." And he started crying, I mean, his partner may have died without him, and he didn't like that, and he ended up literally like fighting his way into the hospital, and they arrested him. I mean, what kind of society are we when we arrest someone because they want to take care of a spouse who's ill? I mean, that's really what marriage is all about. I mean, gay people, we want to be monogamous. We're fighting for the right to be just like everyone else. It's ridiculous,
I kind of feel offended how when I grow up, I can't get married. I don't get the option of, saying vows to another person so that I can live for the rest of my life with this one person. I guess they don't view homosexuals as as people who can commit to another person. I think that we have that ability and that we should have the right to marry another person.
I give this analogy to people when I explain my beliefs that when black people were underserved with less rights and back in the days, I think it's the same thing right now when people don't allow gay people to get married, because they should still have the right to get married. Even if you don't want to see them get married, they still should have the right to do it, because right now they're second-class citizens. They don't have the right to do 1,039 something civil rights say they should have if they get married, but they can't get married in the first place, so they can't have those 1,000 and something rights just because of their sexual orientation.
It comes down to your right as a human to choose who you want to marry. That's it. You should be able to choose who you want to marry. And they next, they're going to be marrying dogs and cats. Come on, please. It just comes down to who you want to marry. And the problem with not allowing that choice is that you only afford certain rights to married couples, tax breaks, children, adoption, death. There was a story on the television where this woman and her partner had been together for 30 years, and the one woman died of cancer. She was dying of cancer, and they wouldn't release the body to her partner because it was only to family.
The solution to the problem could start by joining GSA, where a lot of people have come to support and voice their opinions about the situation in our campus.
GSA is a club on our campus that allows all the gay students to go and communicate and to form like a union with each other. We build a lot of team spirit with each other. We often yell, "Yay, gay people," and all that kind of stuff. But it's definitely a way that we have strength and we support one another. Another important thing about GSA is it connects us to other schools. A lot of the gay people in the community, they don't have really connection with other gay people, so having a GSA allows us to talk to other people in other communities.
First and foremost, we provide a safe community for them. We provide an atmosphere, we provide an environment and a group of people who they aren't going to judge you for who you are. They are not going to name call. They are not going to be abusive. You can come into our club and they are totally accepting. If you're unsure about who you are, if you don't want to tell your parents, but you have to, we give them advice, we give them support first and foremost.
I think GSA serves our high school by doing several things. They make themselves more visible to other students. So other students know that there are gay, lesbian, transgender, transsexual people on campus. And by making themselves more visible, they're not as scary to other students. I think GSA also helps our campus in becoming more tolerant of them, letting them become more aware of words that might be hurtful to them. Using the word gay in everyday language is not a cool thing to do.
GSA gives us a lot of support to its kids, but even more importantly, we try to get the word out of actual people that are gay in the community so that they realize that they're everywhere and that they should have the same rights that everyone else does. And we participated in calling our senator to tell them that we wanted homosexuals to be supported in our schools because they were going to pass a law that was going to close all the GSAs and all that kind of stuff at our schools, and we couldn't live with the fact that our club would be closing, and we tried to fight against it, so we called.
GSA does many activities. One of the activities that they do is coming up on the 26th of April. It's called the Day of Silence.
Day of Silence.
Day of Silence.
Day of Silence.
Day of Silence, everybody knows what that is.
And all you do is, well, you don't talk, which is hard for me, but it's just something that is a way to support it. And so when people ask you why you're not talking, you give them a card and it says that it's because you support like gay people.
Straight Ally Week was an activity that we did that basically allowed our campus to show all of the straight people who supported gay people. We took a sign, we laid it on the ground, and it said Straight Ally on it, and we had all the people who called themselves Straight Allies sign it, and then we posted it up in the small quad, and that was just a way to show how many people on our campus actually support gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people.
The GSA is also a support group in addition to all the other things that they do for the high school. It's a place for every Thursday. We can meet, and it can be kids who are questioning their sexuality, kids who know their sexuality, whether it be straight or gay, and they all have problems, whether it be at home or on campus. It could be connected to being gay, it could be connected to just everyday high school life. And it's a support area. They come in and they talk about it, and they get support from me, they get support from each other. It's a nice place, a safe place to be.
We also are the main force trying to change the atmosphere on this campus so that it's no longer necessary to have a small little support group where kids can essentially hide, because we don't think that's right. So we have a support wing. We take the kids, we go on trips sometimes, we have movie nights, social things. So they have, friends who aren't going to judge them. But we also have that activist wing where we're really trying to change the culture of the campus through education and activism.
Like I wish we never had to have a GSA, because that would mean that there was no problem with gay kids on this campus, that everybody felt welcome and belonging. So the goal is to eliminate it. That would be my real goal. But to those kids who are gay, who don't know it, or who won't tell, or who are beating up other gay kids because they hate themselves so much, having a GSA on campus lets them know that they're not alone. I don't care if they ever come to the GSA. I don't care if they support it or don't support it. The fact that they know that there are other kids that are in alliance with gay people and will support them is huge for our campus. The "that's so gay" comment has gone away a lot, unless it's, and now when the kid makes that comment in my class, and I'll go to them and I'll say, "Why are you dissing my people?" And they'll go, "Oh, I didn't mean it that way." And I go, "Well, then why did you say it that way?" If you want to say something stupid, say it's stupid. That's okay. Have an opinion, but don't diss a whole group of people on the way.
Like, I think it's your right to believe whatever you want, but when you start saying you can't meet here, you can't have a club, you can't do this, when the purpose of the club is not to even promote homosexuality, it's to promote tolerance, right? I mean, like the Gay Straight Alliance clubs are there to help a dialogue between two very different cultures, and that's good. Like, no matter what belief system you're coming from, that's a really positive thing. So I think that's one of the problems people run into, is just people believe things so strongly, it kind of gets pushed aside, I think. I think that if things keep opening up and people get more and more comfortable with the subject, I think we'll find that there's a whole lot more gray area when people aren't so hung up on right and wrong, they're just open to their feelings. You know, most people could probably feel some level of attraction to anybody.
So I think there is a big problem. It's not as big as it used to be because the teachers are more supportive than they used to be, but unfortunately, there's still a lot of hostility among students. And I see it taking some more time before it finally gets better.